Hello, Chris Green here with the Flood Insurance Guru. Today we're talking about, are elevation certificates a waste of money? And when might they be a waste of money? Do you have to have one to get a flood insurance quote? Well, we're going to talk about a few of those things today. First of all, are elevation certificates required? And the answer to that question is in some situations yes and no. And we want to talk about when are they required? Well, elevations are going to be required generally if you're in a flood zone A or AE and your house was built after the first flood map. So this is generally after 1978 when the first flood maps were put in place. Or when your community first adopted them. Sometimes it could be the late 80s. So when it depends is when that first flood map went into place, is if it's going to be required. So if it was built before that, if the house hasn't had any substantial upgrades, which is more than 50% within a given year, and it hasn't had any additions to the property, an elevation certificate is not going to be required. Now, it could greatly benefit the rate, but it won't be required. Now, if you have a house that was built after that, and it's in a flood zone A or AE, which is going to be your 100-year flood zones, then more than likely an elevation certificate is going to be required if you're going through FEMA. When it won't be required, most of the time, is on a zone A where there's no base flood elevation. So it's very important that you reach out to the Flood Insurance Guru or any local insurance agent and have them run a zone determination. You can always go to our website, floodinsuranceguru.com, where we do these for free for you. And the reason we do this, it tells us if there's a base flood elevation. Well, if you go and order an elevation certificate and there's no base flood elevation, it could be a complete waste of your money if you can't track it down through a local floodplain manager. So we want to make sure that you weren't wasting your money. So these are some ways to verify if you're going to need one or not. Now, could that be a complete waste of money? Yes, they could be. For example, we've got a customer now that we're helping that has a basement, and we could clearly tell from looking at the pictures the level of where the base flood elevation was and where the house was. So the house sits about 10 feet below the base flood elevation. So we could significantly tell that the house was at least 5 or 6 feet. So when we looked at this, we told them, hey, elevation certificate's not really going to benefit you. It may even hurt you. And sure enough, the elevation certificate really had no impact positively on the rate. So these are some things to think about when you're out there ordering those elevation certificates. Reach out to a flood insurance expert so they can analyze the different elevations, like your lowest adjacent grade, the base flood elevation, so they can let you know if it's going to be worth your money to get an elevation certificate or not. Now, when elevation certificates can greatly benefit you, if the possibility of getting your property removed from a flood zone, which generally we have to have an elevation certificate or know the lowest adjacent grade in order to go through the process and help you with this. So if you've got questions about whether you should order an elevation certificate or should you order an elevation certificate, please reach out to us before going through that process and possibly wasting that money. You can reach us, floodinsuranceguru.com. You can go to our YouTube and our Facebook channels where we do these daily flood education videos. And you can always give us a call, 205-451-4294. Thank you.